Posted by you/carnivore23. I am addicted to eating small animals raw. Ever since I was young I have been eating animals raw. When I was a kid around 8, I used to catch small lizards and eat them. The metallic taste of blood was warm and comforting to me. Later on I moved on to trapping rodents and eating them too. I cut off the heads and lower parts of the animals and eat the upper body and tails. I've also eaten baby birds, but I remove the heads. My parents never found out, and when they found animal parts scattered around outside the house they blamed wild animals. I am now in my 20s and I cannot get out of this habit. I do eat normal food, but fresh warm raw meat is too good for me. Quit. I feel like I'm addicted and I cannot seem to control myself. Lizards, frogs, snakes, mice, rats, shrews and baby birds are all tasty morsels to me, but now I have to try extra hard to resist the urge to kill and eat because I now have a girlfriend who has no idea about my bad habit. If she knew, she would most probably break up with me. I need help and I don't know how to get over this addiction. Posted by you/pineapple fountain. I put my infant daughter in the closet, shut the door and walked away. I'm so overwhelmed. I haven't really slept in 8 weeks. That's how old my daughter is. She's a beautiful little girl, but she screams and screams and screams. I do everything to console her. I make sure she is fed, dry, not in pain and comfortable. But she almost never stops screaming. My husband left this weekend for a business trip and I was alone with her for the first time. It was going okay this morning, but then the floodgates opened. I held her, rocked her, bounced her, but nothing worked. I wanted to shake her. I'm ashamed to type this, but I wanted to shake my baby. I thought I was about to have a nervous breakdown. I was so fed up that I strapped her into her car seat, placed her in our coat closet and shut the door. She was still screaming and I shut the door on her. I set a 1-hour alarm, went upstairs, and collapsed into my bed. I wouldn't say I slept, more like I instantly went unconscious. An hour later my alarm went off and I sprung up and ran downstairs to her. She was sleeping and no longer crying. I picked her up and held her and just started sobbing. It's too much. I'm a terrible mother. I can't handle this. Posted by you/the_moonface. I ruined a Muslim's girl life by leading her to have an abortion. I worked with a Muslim girl for a year before I finally noticed her. I thought she was pretty when we first started talking, but after maybe 6 months I realized she was the funniest and sweetest person I ever met. And after a while she became beautiful to me. Forget about pretty. I learned more about Islam in the months I desperately searched online to find out if there was any chance she'd date me than I could any other way. On Firefox, white guy dating Muslim still auto-completes for the letter W. All sources said it was forbidden, impossible. Dating at all could never happen. But after a year of trying, it did. All my habits began changing to accommodate her when we were together. She was always conflicted to various degrees about our relationship, and I always told her that if it meant she'd be happy, we could stop seeing each other. That never happened, and eventually we had sex. She got pregnant. She cried when she told me. I wasn't happy about the news, either. I knew what I wanted her to do about it, but I'd never be able to tell her. If her family found out, they'd disown her forever. 3 days after we found out, I sat her down and told her I loved her more than anything in the world and that it was our situation together, but it was her body and the outcome would be very different for her. I didn't want kids, but I told her to do whatever she wanted to do and I'd support her in it. When she decided to get an abortion, I was shocked. I never persuaded her, but even if I didn't want to admit, I knew I let my position be known subtly. She'd lose either way. A major sin was committed and it changed her. She drifted away from me. I think she was sorry for her sins and chose Islam and her family over me. I loved her enough that I felt it was okay. Within 2 weeks her father found out. I don't know how, but he found my phone number and called me. Threatened to kill me. Her two brothers swore to kill me, too. Then 2 nights later on a Sunday she died from complications due to a major food allergy. I cried on the way to her funeral but was chased away as soon I showed my face. My whole life I always looked at people turning to alcohol to numb their pain with confusion. Don't they still realize something is wrong? They can't outrun what's bothering them. Now when I turn to drinking every night, I realize that's true. The drugs I take don't work any better. I finally realized I'm trying to kill myself over her, but I still can't figure out if it's because of what I did or because I'll never see her again. Posted by you/deleted. I nearly committed a school shooting. Throwaway for very obvious reasons. I suffer from autism, social anxiety, PTSD, and severe anger issues. At school I'm usually mocked by other peers for being the weird white kid and called a school shooter a lot because I had a crazy big obsession with the Columbine shooting. I was and still am 16 and live in a small country with strict firearm laws but have access to them. I was going through a really bad time in my life. I was struggling with my old best friend who helped me through my mental health but started to ghost me and use me for my money. My ex-girlfriend at the time has just broken up with me and my social anxiety had turned me into a suicidal and angry mess. I was dumped the night before because my ex liked another guy and I was really upset and angry because it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was at school, this was on the 25th of August 2018 where I was super angry. These kids were picking on me and threatening to beat me up and laughing at me. I was in a really bad mood and ranting in this journal I carried around where I ranted about my anger when I suddenly got the overwhelming feeling of rage and suicidal thoughts. I started writing about an idea to shoot up the school. I was writing quite a lot about it when I decided it would be a good idea to just do it. I walked out of class when my friend walked past me and I remember saying, "Dude, go home," and he asked why and I just said, "I'm just going to do something. I recommend you just get the fuck out of here." I remember sending a message to my ex basically saying I was doing something and to just forget about me. She had known I'd had these thoughts for a long time. I've had thoughts of bringing a firearm to school since I was 10. She started freaking out, calling me and trying to calm me down. I was about to walk out of school when all of a sudden I realized what I was going to do. I remember calling the mental health clinic where I live and asking for my psychologist to pick me up and I told them what had nearly happened. It was a very scary experience, something that still messes with me to this day. I'm in a happy relationship with someone else now. I cut that ex-best friend out of my life and still talk to my ex today. We're good friends. I've been a lot calmer lately after I started doing more therapy with my psychologist about my past, bullying and all other stuff going on that I didn't talk to. I even temporarily moved to a school for people with mental health to calm down. I've told a few friends about this and I ended up telling my mom and my older brother. Update: I didn't make this post asking for praises. If I'm being honest, I expected this post to be judged, but please everyone understand that I made this post because my story should be out there. There's always another way. I got the help I needed. I seek psychological help and from this the root of my issues was found. We're still working towards fully fixing what has happened in my past and I've been really good recently. I've been less anxious, my anger has gone down dramatically and I haven't had any serious thoughts since what happened that day. Please understand that no matter what, there's always another way and you can get help.